What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is Saturday, the 27th of September, 2014. As always, first link below is going to take you over to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all this madness, and what a week of madness once again. Let's start off with Eric Holder to resign as Attorney General. I'll put this link from HuffPost Politics. Good riddance, scumbag. What pisses me off is people will remember the name Eric Holder, but I bet nobody will remember the name Brian Terry, except those of us who really give a damn. I'll put this link from Town Hall. Border Patrol agent Brian Terry's sister on timing of Holder resignation. Not a coincidence. Right on, I'll put the link. They got the interview on that. I have to wonder if something going on in the background when you see high-profile people step down. Are they just stepping down, or is something else going on? They're going underground. Always on my mind. On with the news. CDC warns 500,000 will be infected with Ebola by January as effort to contain the virus fail. Put a link to this. I got another one here. Got quite a few on Ebola. Ebola death camps. Ebola death camps unveiled in Liberia. Disease victims to be rounded up and removed from their homes by force. This has come out from Natural News on the 23rd, man. Liberia's largest newspaper accuses United States of creating Ebola virus. Put this link from Sheila Aliens. I'm not joking. CDC says Ebola vaccine only works on white people. What? Got an article here from the News Nerd. I don't know what's up with that. Put a link to it. Arizona 15, other news going on. Fears. Hang on one second. Fleas test positive for plague at park near Flagstaff. Be advised if you're in Arizona, you want to be aware of that. Meanwhile, suspected meningitis outbreak forces one Central Oklahoma school to close. Test results released. This come out September 22nd. Be advised if you're in Oklahoma. Air travel still getting going hours after fire at FAA facility. You hear about this story yesterday? This man apparently slashed his wrist and then tried to burn down a FAA control center that housed electronics for O'Hare and Midway. Big air traffic control mess yesterday. I'll put a link to it. Bizarre story. Another bizarre story. Woman beheaded at Oklahoma workplace. Apparently a guy was upset that he got fired, had previously tried to convert his co-workers to Islam, just beheaded someone. Thank God somebody there had a gun that stopped the guy. I put this link from ABC News. Bizarre story. Got some other news here. Firefighter injured in ice bucket challenge dies. This happened a few weeks back during the ice bucket challenge stuff. Firefighters, their rig, a bucket came in contact with some high voltage lines. I don't understand that mistake. That's a mistake firefighters don't make. I'll put this link from CBS News, though. Rest in peace to that firefighter. And 3 more firefighters, sadly, to tell you about. 3 retired FDNY members die of September 11-related cancers within hours of each other. This came out September 25, 2014. Rest in peace to these firefighters. You know who should be dying of cancer? All of the people at the EPA that said that the air was safe at ground zero, and every politician, federal, state, or local, who jacked with the FDNY after 9/11 about medical bills and denying coverage. Every person involved in that should die of cancer. That's just my opinion. Over to financial news. How the Dow Jones Industrial Average did on Friday. Looks like the Dow surged 167 points after, what did it fall? A couple hundred points the day before. It closed up above 17,113.15. Put a link to the market recap data. Continues to be rigged. Speaking of rigged, Weekly Standard come out with this. 1 in 4 Americans 25 to 54 are not working, says a new study. I put a link to that. Senator and CIA insider accuse Federal Reserve of covering up secret bankruptcy. Interesting stuff here from Money Morning. Put a link to that. Got one from the New York Times. Miss a car payment? Good luck moving your car. This article talking about how people getting financed through certain finance companies, they're putting start disablers on cars. So if you're a couple days late on your car payment, you can't start your car. Anybody who's got a background in installing car alarms could probably get around that, though. I'll put that link anyway, be advised. And Walmart prepares to offer low-cost checking accounts. Put a link to that, September 23rd. Another one from the Times. One more from Reuters. We got U.S. to pay Navajo tribe $554 million in landmark settlement. We're over to New World Order Police State News and alert off the top. Be advised from the Washington Times. Jet fighters to fly over D.C. in NORAD training exercise. This come out September 22nd. That's crazy. Wasn't there NORAD training exercises going on the morning of 9/11/2001? Anybody remember NORAD standing down? Put a link to that. Meanwhile, the governor of New York is calling in the National Guard to help boost security. Be advised if you're in New York and you see National Guard moving around. Forest Service says media needs photography permit in wilderness areas, alarming First Amendment advocates. You need a permit to shoot a picture of that bird over there. Are you kidding me? I remember there was a Three Stooges episode one time where they were in Bulgaria and they tried to take a picture and it didn't work out too well. That's what the United States is turning into. Here's some signs of the times. Disgraceful Democratic Congresswoman replaces U.S. flag with Mexican flag on Star-Spangled Banner parade float. This came out September 16. Think about that. Law enforcement creating a national DNA database using new Orwellian portable rapid DNA scanners. This came out September 26 from the Free Thought Project. Oh boy, FBI says no one killed at Sandy Hook. Agency publishes crime report showing 0 murders occurred in Newtown in 2012. This from Infowars.com, although if you don't like Infowars, that's all over the place. Google it. Americans were distracted by Holder's resignation, Obama issues an executive order, a new executive order on immigration. Be advised, this came out September 25th. I haven't looked into that, but it doesn't surprise me at all. Meanwhile, David Cameron, check this out now. Remember one of my last videos, I said that they might tie, dissenters into ISIS and all this. David Cameron says non-violent conspiracy theorists are just as dangerous as ISIS. Here they go. They're going to lump everybody into the same basket. Check out his speech. It's on Blacklisted News. It's about 15 minutes long, just right in the middle of it. He mentions 9/11 conspiracy theorists and 7/7 conspiracy theorists. These people are dangerous. Yes, the truth is very dangerous, isn't it? People don't want to go along with your agenda. From BuzzFeed News, disturbing dashcam video shows South Carolina trooper shooting unarmed man. This is actually a positive story in one aspect. Yes, the guy got shot. I believe the guy is okay, and the trooper has been fired and is being brought up on murder charges. So right on, something goes right for a change. Meanwhile, something else going right. Remember the woman that was punched repeatedly by the CHP officer months back? She's getting a settlement of $1.5 million. Right on, good for her. Put a link to that. Over to, where are we now? World War III news. UK MPs vote overwhelmingly for ISIS airstrikes in Iraq. So UK is going to join in with bombing of ISIS, and that whole thing is just major terrorist. Be advised, Operation Blackjack hit from The Guardian. Major terrorist attacks are inevitable as ISIS fighters return, say EU officials. I've been telling you guys forever. Iraqi intelligence uncovers ISIS plot to attack U.S. and Paris subway systems, Prime Minister says. This came out September 25th. Be advised. FBI director assumes, I don't know how you say this new terrorist boogeyman now, Khorasan, is that how you say it? Plots not disrupted. Apparently that was one of the major keys for bombing Syria, although we were told about it after the fact. Khorasan plots may still be on. I don't know what that means. Al Arabia News, be ready for anything, I guess. Gateway Pundits reporting this. Breaking ISIS uses chemical weapons, murders 300 Iraqi soldiers, and chlorine gas attack. This come out September 22nd. They have chemical weapons now, I guess. I don't know. I'll put a link to that. Meanwhile, there was, in Iraq, a lawyer and human rights defender was executed by ISIS in Mosul. Put a link to that. Don't know the website. Meanwhile, we got another beheading. Islamic State Algerian group beheads French hostage. This beheading video looks a little bit more realistic. However, the copy that I have, and I'll put a link to it, I wouldn't recommend watching it unless you really want to, still fades to black when they go to cut his head off. This whole fade to black thing, well, what is up with that? I'm not saying it's not a real beheading. I mean, it looks a little more real than the previous ones. Doesn't look like a green screen being used anyway. Meanwhile, speaking of that, CBS Denver comes out with this. Media forensics experts analyzing ISIS video in Denver say the video is most likely staged. This is mainstream news, CBS Denver. Media forensics experts say the video is most likely staged. I'll put a link to it. Your thoughts on that? Meanwhile, suspicions run deep in Iraq that the CIA and the Islamic State are united. You think? This is from the New York Times. I'll put a link to it. And shout out to Vice News. They managed to do an interview with Islamic State member warns of NYC attack in Vice News interview. I'll put a link to that video. It's about 8 minutes long. These people, it's hard to say, that I'm not saying there aren't real terrorists in the world. I think there definitely. I think the United States, what we've done, you know, between now, from 9/11 up till now, we've definitely created a lot more real terrorists in the world. Take a look at these guys that Vice News interviewed. They seem legit to me, and the way they're talking, it's a crazy interview. I'll put a link to it. Crazy times. I did have one note here, too. There's been a lot more of these mass arrests. I've seen several stories about mass arrest of terror suspects. When I said in my last video about how they're possibly rounding people up, especially when you got David Cameron talking about, you know, conspiracy theories are just as dangerous. So just everybody be vigilant. That's all I'm saying. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news now. It looks like we've had one big quake in the past week. Had a 6.2 in Alaska. Then we had a 4.8 in the Philippines, 4.2 Papua New Guinea, 5.0 in Alaska, 4.5 in Indonesia. I'll put this link from the USGS. Big quakes on the left, small quakes on the right. Great resource to check daily for quakes. Volcano in western Indonesia erupts again. This came out September 24 from ABC News. Apparently that volcano's been very active lately. Meanwhile, multiple fireballs seen over eastern United States in the past 24 hours. This came out September 25th from Sheila Aliens. Be advised, fireballs. Jaw-dropping aurora views wins 2014 astronomy photo contest. Space.com's got a write-up on this September 18th. Take a look at that. That's those X-class CMEs were hitting the planet. Very impressive auroras. Toxic algae confirmed in, I'm not going to butcher the name, a river in Portland, Oregon. Be advised if you're in Portland, there's toxic algae. Know how that worked out up in Michigan. And welcome to fall. 2014 equinox. Facts about the first day of fall. When was that? On the 22nd or so. I'll put a link to that. Yes, fall. Allergies. Look at my eyes. They're red. Let's see. I am going to join ISIS. Drunken American tells police. Over to strange and bizarre news now. Drunken American says he's going to join ISIS. All right, put a link to that. Meanwhile, Coca-Cola. Share a Coke with ISIS. You know how Coca-Cola bottles, they got to share a Coke with somebody on the... Apparently there's an ISIS bottle. Mad World has an article on that. Yeah, that's classy, Coke. My Fox LA has this. Be advised, New Jersey police car crashes into Dunkin' Donuts. Literally, drive through. Okay, put a link to that. New Mexico police say they caught a ghost on camera. This from Hawaii News Now. They got a video on that. Check that out. Kind of spooky. Meanwhile, I can't pronounce her name, but some lady had surgery to add third breast, Total Recall style. Woot? I don't know. Put a link to that. And one more in the Strange and Bizarre event. Mom bakes vagina-shaped cookies for second graders. Can't believe teacher has the nerve to refuse them. For all other news, please check my favorite videos. I have favorited lots of videos, a lot of fresh news over there. At least pull it up, check over the video title, see if there's anything you don't know about. Thank you to everybody who puts out content. I do have some shout-outs this week. Shout-out to nurses sue over flu shot mandate. This is from the Boston Globe. Nurses are standing up saying, you know, the hospitals are telling these nurses if you don't get the flu shot, you can't work here. Well, apparently there's been a lawsuit filed, and I support them. I support anybody who stands up against vaccines. In fact, insurance company pulls actor Rob Schneider's ads over his anti-vaccine views. Shout out to Rob Schneider. Right on. There's not too many actors in Hollywood that actually have the balls to stand up. You know, anti-vaccine, I'm all for that. Big shout out to him. Police say Ohio gas station clerk kills 2 robbers. Shout out to the clerk who killed 2 robbers. They won't be robbing anyone else. And shout out to the Utah bystanders rushed to rescue teens in overturned vehicle and submerged SUV. Shout out to the Good Samaritans. That's good stuff right there, man. Shout out to the news reporter from CBS station out of Alaska. She didn't like the story she was doing on marijuana. She said, F it, I quit. Live on the air, walked off the set. Big shout out to her. That's awesome. And shout out to YouTuber Zilla News. He did a great video, The Future of EBT Cards. I think he's got some video there of when, little ways back when EBT cards were shut off, all the carts filled with food at Walmart. He actually went down and got some video on that. So shout out to him. Check his video out. Important information there for sure. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I think it sucked. It's the worst of YouTube. Never want to see it again. Please rate, though. It helps me move around. I appreciate it. You can also follow me on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter for new upload alerts, live show alerts, breaking news alerts. Put out a lot of those in the past week. Check out my Facebook feed for sure. That's all I got. I don't know what's going to happen with this beheading. Is this the beginning of lone wolf style crap that they're talking about? Or it's just some random guy pissed off that he got fired? He's obviously tried to convert his coworkers to Islam. I don't know. ISIS, gonna attack America. Definitely check out that interview with Vice News. That's interesting stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying there aren't real terrorists in the world, but you can't deny the fact that the United States armed these guys. I mean, go months back, you got John McCain taking pictures with the head of ISIS. So you definitely can't call conspiracy theory on government involvement. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on all this madness? I've talked long enough. Have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great week. If this stuff starts getting to you too much, take a break from it. I know how that can be. Turn it off, walk away, go do something else. I love you guys, though. Thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes while I give you the news. And you guys take care. Stay safe. I will see you on the next one.